Welcome to the Christmas Story and Lights, a drive-through experience. The church staff, church members, and friends feel blessed that you decided to join us at Wayzata Community Church during this season of Advent. Advent means coming, and during this season, we prepare for Jesus coming. Even during this crazy year, we are still preparing for love to come. We encourage you to turn off your headlights, drive slowly, and enjoy the magic of this beautiful story. Please stay in your vehicle and continue following the lighted path. Now, let's start at Station 1, on your right. Everything was ready. The moment God had been waiting for was here at last. God was coming to help all people, just as He had promised in the beginning. But how would God come? What would God be like? What would God do? Mountains would have bowed, seas would have roared, trees would have clapped their hands, but the earth held its breath. As silent as snow falling, He came in. And when no one was looking, in the darkness, He came. Now, continue to Station 2, up ahead on your right.
There was a young girl who was engaged to a man named Joseph. Joseph was the great-great-great-great-great-grandson of King David. One morning, this girl was minding her own business when suddenly a great light appeared, right there in her bedroom. It was Gabriel, an angel, a special messenger from heaven. When he saw the tall, shining man standing there, Mary was frightened. "You don't need to be scared," Gabriel said. "God is very happy with you." Mary looked around to see if perhaps the angel was talking to someone else. "Mary," Gabriel said, laughing with such gladness that Mary's eyes filled with sudden tears. "Mary, you're going to have a baby, a little boy. You will call him Jesus. He is God's own son. The God who made the universe with just a word was making Himself small and coming down as a baby." "Wait, but it's too wonderful," Mary said, and felt her heart beating hard. "How can it be true? Is anything too wonderful for God?" Gabriel asked. So Mary trusted God more than what her eyes could see, and she believed. "I am God's servant," she said. "Whatever God says, I will do." Turn right to continue the story.
Mary's fiance, Joseph, had a strange and wonderful experience too. Mary was pregnant and Joseph was confused. Joseph had planned on a normal marriage to a normal woman, but boy, had things changed now. All of a sudden, life had become very abnormal. One night, while Joseph was sleeping, right in the middle of all his confusion, an angel appeared to him in a dream. The angel obviously knew all about Joseph's worries, and he had a solution. "Joseph, don't be afraid to take Mary as your wife. This child she is carrying in her belly will be God's child. He will be what the prophet called Emmanuel, God right here with us. By the way, listen, you and Mary should name the boy Jesus." When Joseph woke up, he did exactly as the angel said. Joseph didn't know what the future held, but he trusted God all the same. Please continue following the route, turning left to almost make a U-turn.
And so it was just as the angel had said. 9 months later, Mary was almost ready to have her baby. Now Mary and Joseph had to take a trip to Bethlehem, the town King David was from. This was because Emperor Augustus had ordered all people to be counted. Since Joseph was descended from King David, he and Mary had to make the trip to Bethlehem. As you make your way to Bethlehem, notice the Advent candles to the left of you. We light a candle each week leading up to the birth of Jesus. Jesus is the light of the world, and he brings light into this world. So as we go through the 4 weeks, we increase the light in the world as the anticipation grows. Each candle has a different meaning, as you can see with the words located next to each candle. Let's continue with our story. When they reached the little town of Bethlehem, they found every room was full. Every bed was taken. "Go away," the innkeepers told them. "There isn't any place for you." Where would they stay? Soon Mary's baby would come. They couldn't find anywhere except an old tumble-down stable. So they stayed there, where the cows and donkeys and horses stayed. Continue along the route, taking a right.
And there in the stable amongst the chickens, donkeys, and cows, in the quiet of the night, God gave a wonderful gift to the world. The baby that would change the world was born. God's baby son. Mary and Joseph wrapped him up to keep him warm. They made a soft bed of straw and used the animal's feeding trough as his cradle. And they gazed in wonder at God's great gift, wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. Mary and Joseph named him Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us, because of course he had. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Continue around the front of the church.
That night, some shepherds were out in the open fields, warming themselves by the campfire. Then suddenly the sheep darted. They were frightened by something. The olive trees rustled. What was that? They turned around. Standing in front of them was a bright light blazing in the darkness. "Don't be afraid of me," the bright shining man said. "I haven't come to hurt you. I've come to bring you happy news for everyone everywhere. Today in David's town in Bethlehem, God's Son has been born. You can go and see him. He is sleeping in the manger." Behind the angel, they saw a strange glowing cloud, except it wasn't a cloud. It was angels, and they were singing a beautiful song, "Glory to God." Then, as quickly as they appeared, the angels left. The shepherds stamped out their fire, left their sheep, raced down the grassy hill, through the gates of Bethlehem, down the narrow cobble streets, through a courtyard, down some steep steps, past an inn, around a corner, through a hedge, until at last they reached a tumbled-down stable. They caught their breath. Then quietly they tiptoed inside. They knelt on the dirt floor. They had heard about this promised child, and now he was here, Heaven's Son, a baby sleeping in his mother's arms. This baby would be like that bright star shining in the sky that night. a light to light up the whole world, chasing away darkness, helping people to see. And the darker the night got, the brighter the light would shine. Continue to follow the building, going toward the right.
Far away, in the east, 3 clever men saw the star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for this star. They knew it would come. "He's here!" they shouted. At dawn, they packed their camels and wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh. Special, sparkly, lovely-smelling, gleaming things just right for a king. The 3 wise men set off. They rode their camels for hours that turned into days and turned into weeks that turned into months and months until at last they reached Jerusalem. They went to see King Herod. Surely he'd know where the baby was, but he didn't. In fact, he didn't like the sound of a new king. It made him very angry. He didn't want anyone to be king except him, but Herod's advisors told the 3 wise men what was written in their books, what God had said about the baby king. "Go to Bethlehem. That's where you will find him."
Suddenly, the star they had seen in the east started moving again, showing them the way. So, the 3 wise men followed the star out of the big city, along the road into the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star until it stopped right over a little house. But wait, it wasn't a palace, and there weren't any guards or servants or flags or red carpets or trumpets or anything. Did they get it wrong? Or was this what God meant? Sure enough, in that little house, there sitting on his mother's knee, they found him, the baby king. The 3 men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming gold crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground and gave him their sparkling treasures. This child was a new kind of king. Though he was the mighty God, he had come as a helpless baby. The king hadn't come to be the boss. He had come to be a servant.
Mary and Joseph named the baby Jesus Emmanuel, which means God has come to live with us. The heart of Christmas is that God, who loves us with an everlasting love, has come to us and to our world in Jesus. He shines like light in our darkness and brings new life and hope to us and to our world. Our Christmas story comes from the Jesus Storybook Bible. As a part of the Christmas Story and Lights, we are taking a free will offering to benefit Community Emergency Service. CES provides high-quality direct service to people in need. The goal of CES is to help move people beyond crisis to financial stability, as well as emotional health, personal growth, and spiritual depth. Each month, CES distributes about 23 tons of food through all of the CES food distributions. This food is donated by congregations, other organizations, and individuals, or has been purchased from local food banks, often at a reduced rate. As we head into the colder winter months, and with the rising cases of COVID in our state, our financial support is more important than ever to be able to reach families in need. CES was founded in 1971 and continues to serve neighbors of all races, religious backgrounds, and ethnicities in their places of deepest need. If you would like to give a donation to help our neighbors, please click the link below. Thank you so much for coming to the Christmas Story in Lights at Wayzata Community Church. Please exit to the left and don't forget to turn on your headlights. May you always know you are loved and you are never alone. Have a blessed Merry Christmas.